Hello everyone, welcome back to Sports Today. My name is Shane Reyes and I'm here to talk to you about athletics, particularly in Indian athletics, who is in many cases expected to at least be competing for a medal, if not outright winning one. I am of course talking about Hima Das. Now, Hima Das is someone who in recent years has become something of a darling of the Indian athletics community, and with very good reason. She's proven time and time again that she can be someone who competes at that top level and can win medals. However, competing at international events like the Commonwealth Games or the Asian Games is of course a whole different task. However, the good news is that she has won her women's 200 meters heat, and she has actually qualified for the semi-finals, and she will in fact be in one of the semi-finals, which is set to take place tomorrow. That is Friday. Tomorrow, later on Friday, she will be part of the semi-final. So the good news is that she won her heat, and what's more important is that she topped her heat as well. She didn't just end up winning it, and she also ended up topping her heat with a time, of course, of 23.42 seconds in the heat. Now, that of course unfortunately is where the good news ends in this case, because again, let me quickly go through how it is that the qualifications are decided for the heats. You have 24 athletes who qualify, and there's 6 heats. So the top 3 from all 6 heats are guaranteed qualification, and then the next 6 fastest runners from the heats, regardless of like how many, like whoever is the next 6 fastest, are also granted access to the semi-finals. So obviously, the field is quite large, and of course there are plenty of athletes there, and what's more important is that of course a lot of these people might not actually be, they're actually better timings. They have clocked better timings than Hima Das. In fact, if I have to go through some of the big names who are part of the women's 200 meters semi-final in terms of like who's there in the field, so you have Favor Ofili of Nigeria. She's clocked 22.71. There's Gina Bass, who's clocked 22.87. There's also Elaine Thompson Hera, who we know recently was competing in and winning gold in, of course, the World Athletics Championships that concluded recently, and she's part of a fearsome Jamaica quartet of women athletes. She's also there, and she clocked a time of 22.80. Now, obviously, if you look at Hima Das's timing, 23.42 isn't bad at all. However, there are 3 athletes who are in the 22 range, and what's more, there are overall 7 athletes who actually have a better timing than Hima when it comes to the timings clocked in the heats. Of course, you have to take the timings which people clock in the heats with a grain of salt, because more often than not the top athletes will always kind of hold back just a little bit. Nevertheless, it says something that despite some of these athletes holding back, they were clocking times in the 22-second mark, and arguably that is of course what Hima Das should be targeting. Remember, Hima Das's personal best in the 200 meters is around the 22-second mark, 22.8 if I recall correctly, but she would need to be touching that in the finals to be standing any chance of actually, winning a medal, well, whatever the color may be. I know a lot of people would expect gold, but realistically, a silver or bronze might seem more, on the cards for Hima. But she would have to clock that time first in order to actually be in contention for a medal, because as I said, there's 3 athletes who are already touching times in the 22-second mark, and there's a total of 7 athletes who have better timings than Hima. So as I said, obviously there will be some who will be holding their timings back, because of course they want to save their best for the last, which is of course the final. But it is telling that even with athletes holding back, there are at least 7 who are ahead of Hima. So Hima will have to find at least a few milliseconds if she is to be in contention for a medal come the final. Now, of course, that is of course still ways off, because tomorrow will be the semi-final round, and then of course we'll be talking about this finals. But good start from Hima. She's managed to top her heat, and she has qualified for the semi-finals. Whether or not she can actually go on to get that final, that medal, is something that only time will tell. But of course, you bet that she will. We will all be rooting for her, because there is an expectation now that Indians could potentially be doing well, at least, or putting up a fight when it comes to athletics. Thank you all so much for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tap the bell icon, and subscribe to the channel so that you know when it is. Of course, we're uploading a new video, going live for you guys. Don't forget to follow us across platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well. Last but not least, please download the SportsTalk app so that you have access to all of the latest breaking news at your fingertips. Again, thank you all so much for joining us. I've been Shane Reyes, and I will be with you covering the Commonwealth Games through the day. Bye-bye for now.